Okay, so I think we're live.
Yeah. Hi, friends. It's
There
so
we
good
go.
to see you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first annual Capstone Direct. I believe the YouTube title is Capstone Greenlight or something. We'll figure out a name as we go along. This is the first time that we're doing this. We just wanted to have a nice way to sort of informally celebrate Capstone and the games that you all worked on. And yeah, we're super excited to be here with y'all.
Yeah, and big shout out to Utah Esports who jumped in last minute and leveled up our production game. So they really helped us out on this one. So thank anyone you know there.
Yes, it was going to be a fun time for Greg and me to figure out how to use YouTube streaming and stuff. So there we go. Cool. So I think we can just go ahead and jump into the presentation. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. Here's our Capstone Direct. Start time very accurate, right? But let's go ahead and jump into it. How did we get here, right? First thing is we had these 16 prototypes that you all pitched to an industry panel. Thanks again to Adam Hunter for gathering our industry panel. All 16 prototypes looked wonderful. You should all be super proud of the work that you did. The progress you were able to do in 2 weeks is astounding.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it was really hard to do the next part, which was discussing the prototypes and rating them, right? So we sat down with the panel for a little bit. The TAs were also there, and we were just talking through the prototypes, talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, and using those discussions to make the final decision, which led down to our top 8.
Yep, and in terms of evaluating those top 8, we looked at a bunch of different criteria.
Yep, and here we have them.
Yeah, we'll go through them in detail. Number one was clarity.
Yeah. So yeah, clarity. It was your pitch was easy to understand, and the gameplay was also easy to understand. Right. Next up, we have feasibility. That is that the idea that you're making is something that's possible to make in a game. Right.
Scope, our favorite brand of mouthwash. Can it be done in the time given? We have 8 weeks till feature complete, so can it be done in that time and then polished next semester?
Right. Then next up, fun, right? These are games, so ultimately they should be fun. So the evaluation here was, is the game fun? Does the gameplay look engaging, entertaining?
Scope, our favorite brand of mouthwash, not sponsored by Scope, by the way. But yeah, again, can it be done with the team given? Can it be done in the amount of time we have?
Scalability, right? So does the pitch show how this game can be expanded upon, how it can be built upon to make something bigger, something interesting, right? So do the existing systems lend themselves to making something bigger out of it?
Yep. Originality and creativity. So have we seen this game before? Is it just a reskin of another game?
Oh, I can hear myself. Ruh-roh. How do we stop that? Oh boy. Let's see. I don't know where to look.
Okay.
Oh, cool. So yeah, it was that computer then. Okay, little hiccup, but we're back. Issue solved. So it seems so. Yeah, let's go back to where we were talking about originality, creativity, right? Have we seen the game before? All that stuff, and finally, and most importantly of all, scope.
You never guessed it.
Our favorite brand of mouth. No, I'm kidding. Yes, it all came down. Like the most important thing that came down to was, is this a game that's possible to make in the short amount of time that you have? 8 weeks to get to feature complete, and then a full semester after that to add content and publish and finalize everything. So scope was one of the big deciding factors. All right. So like we said, we talked to the panel, and the critics were all raving about your prototypes. We're going to do our best to send each of the prototype teams some more individualized feedback, but let's talk a little bit more generally about what the panel said. Greg, do you want to get started?
We and the panel were just so impressed with the amount of work that you guys were able to get done in just 2 weeks. You know, the level of professionalism with the pitches, the level of polish with some of your mechanics, and with the worlds that you built. We were so proud of the progress that you made in such a short amount of time. And so when we say that these prototypes were exceptional, we mean it. Every one of them represented a phenomenal amount of work and effort and creativity, and we're just so proud of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so going into some more specifics about what was talked about, like we said, scope was a big deal, right? Certain games presented themselves as being either too big in scope, certain games presented themselves as being too small in scope, and some were somewhere in the middle, either closer to one side or the other. So really, it was about trying to find which ones were the most feasible for that. Looking at other things, art was something that was commented on a lot. You all did a fantastic job. I don't think anybody said the art looks bad. All of them look great. Mm-hmm. So all of the artists on your team should be extremely, extremely proud of the work that you've done. And whichever team you end up in, you're going to have opportunities to make really amazing art.
Yeah, and we'll come back to scope, but we were really impressed with your ability to limit the core mechanics and the core features down to a few things. In some of the games there were multiple modes. But generally, we went in the direction of games that had a clear, focused vision for where they wanted to go. Generally, it was games that had a singular idea that they were sort of exploring, rather than multiple modes. But we'll get into more of that in a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so overall, I think that we had really good discussions. There were definitely moments where a game was sort of suggested, and then there were a lot of pros and cons and decisions to be made. So it wasn't an easy process. It took us a long time. Greg and I were probably discussing right up until maybe noon today, still figuring out what the best selection of games would be. And again, I do want to emphasize, because it's really easy to feel like this is personal, this is completely a part of the class, right? 16 prototypes, we have to pick 8. One of the requirements for this class is to work in a large team. Right now you're all in 12, 13, 14 person teams, but to meet the goals of the class, the learning outcomes of this class, you need to experience working in a large team. So we're going to put you all together. Your teams are going to be between 27 to 30 people. And it's going to be a challenge, and it is meant to be a challenge. And the other part of it is that half of you are going to feel maybe a little disappointed that your prototype didn't move forward. And that's perfectly normal and understandable, right? How many games end up getting cut or completely canceled? You can go online and find many hundreds, if not thousands or hundreds of thousands of stories of games that didn't make it through for one reason or the other. Some games that have amazing art just didn't make it through because the gameplay wasn't there. Some games just never got the gameplay to work even though the art was beautiful. There's so many reasons why games go or don't go forward, and we really want you to keep that in mind and to not take it personally. What you should do is take the lessons you learned from the prototypes and bring them into your new teams.
The other thing I'll throw out there is this is just the green light for formal production on a large team, but that doesn't mean your idea wasn't a good idea or that you can't pursue it elsewhere. Even in big studios, when a game isn't greenlit, there are groups that will spin it off and work on it on their own time, or find the resources to do it elsewhere and otherwise. And so if your game doesn't get picked, we would definitely encourage you to think about how you can scope it down, how you can still pursue it if it's something that you're passionate about, and we're glad to provide feedback or guidance as you try to do that as well.
Absolutely. So the games that were chosen were good games for Capstone. That doesn't mean they're good games, period, right? And any idea that doesn't go through as a Capstone game, feel free to take it and work on it offline with some friends, and it could be extremely successful. So, all right. Here, just a recap, these are the 16 prototypes that were presented. We're on a YouTube live stream right now, so I can't hear applause, but I just wanted to sort of give a quick thank you to all of these teams for really bringing their all and showing these games off. We had such a cool variety of games to choose from, but ultimately, of these 16, only 8 can move forward, as we mentioned, for all the reasons we talked about before. So, before we get into the announcements, we do want to introduce somebody very special, the all-knowing, all-seeing Oracle.
The Capstone Oracle.
So, in mythology, oracles were used by people of high rank, like emperors or kings, to give sort of advice and clairvoyance, things about what's going to happen in the future, how can I secure my reign, all that stuff. We have our own version of a Capstone Oracle. We have taken the combined knowledge of our industry panel, our teaching staff, Greg, myself, Adam, everybody, all of the history of this Capstone class, and we have condensed it into this, the all-knowing, all-seeing Oracle, Capstone Oracle, who will be giving us some pointers to present to you all for these 8 teams that are moving forward.
And the Oracle comes with a word of warning for each team, a path down which you should go if you want to avoid the great darkness. So essentially, with each team that is greenlit at this point, we will offer a sort of direction to pursue. How you interpret that message and how you move on with it is your choice, but heed the warning of the Oracle.
Yeah, and this is a very ingenious device. So when I place my hand and touch my phone at the same time, it is going to transfer its collective knowledge into my phone. So I'm going to be able to read its feedback through here because the Oracle can't speak. It doesn't have a mouth to speak with. All right, Greg, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Oh.
I think we got it.
We got it, yeah.
All right. So, without further ado, let us do our final project and team reveals.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Hey! All right. So, team number 1, in no particular order. My Little Cemetery. Congratulations to My Little Cemetery. Here is the feedback that the Oracle has downloaded onto my phone. Balance building out core features of cemetery management sims while differentiating from other games in the genre, like Graveyard Keeper. All right. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Team number 2.
Team number 2 is Pogo Rogue, or Pogo Rogo, as we've been calling it. The message from the Oracle is investigate the affordances and advantages of alternate platforms like mobile and alternate input methods like gyroscope or tilt.
All right. Congratulations to Pogo Rogue. Next up, we have team number 3. Inquiry of Ivorfall. Congratulations. Here is the Oracle's wisdom for you. Lean into the spectacle, humor, and serendipity of your game's existing mechanics. Avoid creating a secondary interrogation mode.
And now game number 4. Terror on the Bayou. The message from the Oracle was explore the possibilities of alternate maps, enemy types, and player motivations to keep engineers engaged. Why are we facing the terror on the Bayou?
Mystery. All right. Halfway through, team number 5. Trash and Grab. Congratulations to Trash and Grab. And the Oracle states, be wary of feature creep. A simple, focused, polished experience plays better than a string of disjointed parts.
Moving on to number 6. Psych! And from the Oracle, build up a visual wayfinding language that allows you to direct the player and control the pacing of player encounters. Congrats, Psych.
Mm-hmm. All right. Team number 7 is Barnacles, Beers, and Brawls. Congratulations to the team. And the Oracle would like you to embrace the simplicity and rowdiness of the main room and the smaller microgames. Avoid complex combat mechanics that detract from the cohesion of the experience.
And last but not least, Digital Audio Wasteland. From the Oracle, from beyond the wasteland, don't let the dream of music composition get in the way of the magic of discovering new sounds within your world or altering the world to discover more sounds. Again, these words of wisdom come as a warning from the Oracle. No one knows the true power of the Oracle, but we do know that if its words are not heeded, all is darkness.
Yeah, so traditionally, the Oracle would provide a path forward to success, and if anyone ever tried to deviate from the Oracle's predictions, things never worked out well. So take these as words of wisdom, which is what they are. Once again, we want to congratulate all these 8 teams. With that, we have our 8 Capstone teams, so congratulations. Once again, for those 8 teams that did not move forward, we completely understand if you feel disappointed, but look forward to working on one of these and to bringing your expertise into these new projects. We're going to have a nice little sending off ceremony for all of our prototypes, including the 8 that move forward, on Tuesday. So be sure to come to class on Tuesday for that part as well. I think we can exit the PowerPoint presentation. We just have some final quick things to mention. We want to thank the Oracle for the wisdom.
For making an appearance, yeah.
Yeah, but talking about class-related stuff, remember that you have prototype assignments due today. The team has to submit your prototype wrap kit, and each person, individual, has to submit a prototype postmortem and a prototype peer evaluation. All of those assignments are available on Canvas. And anything else that we need to add?
I don't think so. Thanks again for participating. Thanks to all who joined us today. This has been a Capstone Direct live stream facilitated by the University of Utah esports team.
Yep.
Thanks to the Division of Games. And we will see you.
I do have one thing before we leave. Yes. Right. So for those of you who did not see this presentation live, we have a Capstone Canvas announcement that's going to be posted at 3 p.m. It'll list again the 8 prototypes and the words of wisdom from the Oracle, and it'll also have a link to the team preference form, right? So since we are going to be reshuffling some of the teams, we need to know what your preference is. It's just a super quick recap of that. If your prototype team was selected as a final team and you would like to stay on that team, you're good to go. Make that your first pick, and we will make sure that you are on that team. And if you want to switch teams, or if your team did not move forward, then put your preferences. We have the 8 games listed, and we want you to rank them from 1 to 8. And we are going to use those rankings and your areas of interest to try to assign you to the best team that we can for the experience. Be sure to fill that out by Sunday at midnight, and then at some point Monday night or Tuesday morning, we will announce the final Capstone teams. And I think then we're done. Thank you again to Utah Games for helping us with this stream setup. This was super fun. Hopefully we can keep doing stuff like this for class because this is amazing. But yeah, other than that, I think we're all ready to go then.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.